No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot.
Yo, we talking about podcasting, and I'm here with my boy, my longtime friend, my day one, my homie.
Yes, sir. Idgees.
Idgees, a.k.a. Iddy. We know him as Id around the way. Yo, my name's Lawrence. Yo, when I talk about going back from day one, this is what I'm talking about. It's more than friendship. This is a brotherhood. We're going to talk about a lot of different topics, especially sports. We talk, Delco Guys. We grew up here. We love our Delco. We love our sports. We know our sports. We love our food. So let's jump right into this thing, especially around this time of season. We got football season kicking in. And one of the things that we want to talk about is the Eagles' predictions. We got the hunt for Red October, baby. We got the Sixers in their big off season. Bro, we're going to have a halftime break in between all this talking. We're going to talk about some of the best sporting event foods, whether you're home or you're on the road, or you're actually at the game. Some of the must-have foods that you have to have when you're watching the game or you're at a game. We're going to talk about that. Bro, we got a whole lot more going on. Yo, bro, we're going to have some fun with this. We talking about podcasting, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
All right, so, yo, we're here. We're talking about podcasts just like we sprung out before. Yo, bro, we're going to jump straight into this. We got the football 24-25 season coming on. We got the Eagles here. Just got finished wrapping up the first preseason game. I had an opportunity to go to practice last week. Right off the gate, anything that jumps out to you that you've seen?
Yeah, I like what I saw out of Shipley.
Yeah.
So far.
William look good out there.
Yeah.
He look good.
Yeah.
I like him from Clemson.
Yeah. And I like what I saw out of Trotter's son, Trotter Jr.
Yeah. JT Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of his dad in him too.
He do, and I think he's ready. And Nakobe Dean actually look good too.
Yeah, long as he stays healthy.
He's healthy.
Yes, he was my one guy last year who I'm actually bringing up on the podcast. Yes, check it out.
You know what? We didn't see a lot of Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis. We've seen enough for David Brooks, but you hope year two to get a little bit more. But if you get that mixed with Jalen Carter playing away, he's played so far. And I know it's only practice in preseason, but you only could go by what you go by.
All right, yeah, so he was a guy last year that I actually wanted to, I was like, yo, this is a dude I think can step in, step right away. And he got hurt on us, never really picked up. This is the year I really expect him. He looked good out there. He made a couple plays. I mean, you don't want to make too much of a preseason game, but at the same time, you do want to take something out of it. And the biggest thing I personally take from him is that Shipley played good, Trotter played good. Big Ringo fan. I think he had a couple good plays. I think he played good on the end. I love the play by Mitchell, the one interception he should have had. I wish we had a little bit more pressure on our front end of our D. I wish I'd have seen a little bit more out of Carter and the boys. But outside of that, man, I mean, you don't want to draw too much from a preseason game. Not like that.
I will say, the brotherly shove works with anybody.
Yo, did you see Pickett in there doing the brotherly shove, looking all disoriented? Man, it don't matter, bro. Like, I'm glad that we've created it. It's something that you're going to see a lot of teams start to dog you from it, and it's only a matter of time for defenses catch up to it. But before, until then, it's whatever. We'll take credit for it. We'll use it until we get there. To think about the first preseason game, it's such an anticipation. You're happy football season's back around. You want more of it, and you're like, the guys up the street are going to be the dudes getting the most of the playing time. It was no surprise that we didn't see any of the starters, A.J. Brown, Devontae, Jalen Hurts, and all that. It doesn't make sense to really bring them out there, because as much as we'd like to see him, we'll be the first ones to complain, like, oh, why you got him out there preseason game? That don't matter. And, but for the guys that we don't know they're going to make the rosters, and the ones that are trying to be an impactful player as a role player, this is an important game for them. So, if you love the game, you look at the game in a different aspect, and realize, back in the day, the 5 games that they had, down just to 3. Now it's a lot better. You get the extra home. You get the extra regular season game too to it. So that was pretty cool. Preseason game number 2 coming up. The starters play. At this point, I just want people to come healthy.
That's it.
That's it.
I think that with even with the first preseason game though, regardless, you want to see red zone touchdowns.
Right.
And I think our offensive line, regardless of who was in there, had a good push on a few drives. They ran the ball. I think that's our probably most in-depth position. is our line. What we were saying?
Yeah, line is both ends. I think I like the defensive end. Defensive line. I love the offensive line. I know we lost Jason Kelsey, but I think him actually handpicking and really giving props to Jurgens really goes a long way. It's somebody who could step in his shoes and over time maybe could fill that void that we were maybe worried about not having. Or I like some of the younger guys on the line. I really think this is the year that you'll see a lot of the guys that from a couple years ago really step up. Jalen Carter looked good the first 6-7 games, and you can see he hit that rookie wall. I really like what this team has the potential to do. There was a lot of speculation on the relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, especially towards the end of the season. It seemed like those wasn't on the same page, and then you had all this nonsense coming out over the last couple of days about, Jalen Hurts going to a different person for advice instead of his head coach, and whether or not if they were ever on the same page. And it kind of looks like it leaks over to here. What do you think is going to happen, or what needs to happen between Jalen and Nick Sirianni? We would agree that a head coach and a quarterback relationship is important.
Oh yeah. It's big time important. I didn't hear a whole lot of their teammates saying that it was a conflict between the two.
Right.
So that makes me feel like there's some people are making stuff up to try to make some type of blame for it.
Yes.
Last year, because previous year, the Super Bowl run that we had, everything was gravy. Now, what I feel, the coordinators wasn't a good fit for what we was doing. You know what I mean? So I think that losing coordinators can really affect, the way both sides of the ball played, actually, losing coordinators. And that just comes with the territory of when you make it to a Super Bowl or a big game like that, people want your players, people want your coordinators, and, and the fact that it wasn't clicking like it was last year, I think that's really what caused them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If you think about it, Jalen Hurts is going through another offensive coordinator. I mentioned this earlier in the podcast that I did at practice. It's Brian Johnson. First of all, had absolutely very little to no coaching experience. He had no business being this offensive coordinator last year, and he managed to get in there. I understand Shane Steichen. This, like you said, you get to a Super Bowl, you're young, you're going to get coaching offers. And who's a fool not to say that they don't want to coach an NFL team? That's every coach's dream at some point, is to coach an NFL team. So Shane Steichen made the right business move. It's not his fault. It's just the way it is. Everybody wants the next new innovative coach. So you bring Brian Johnson in, and that's a failure. So once again, Jalen Hurts has to pick up and learn another system, and Kellen Moore. And not to play devil's advocate, not to be the spoiler, the one who's like, well, why am I looking at the cup half empty? Let's be for real. If the Eagles have a successful season, if they do anything more than a second round, get to the NFC Conference, you don't think Kellen Moore is out of here?
Oh, yeah, as a head coach. Yeah.
As a head coach, which leaves the 25-26 season, Jalen Hurts with
another coordinator.
Yeah. Do you believe, now, this is just in general in life, continuity is important. To have a rhythm, whether it's doing a podcast show, whether it's working with a hand by hand over hand with somebody at work, there's continuity, which means there's a rhythm, there's a cadence, there's an understanding between you and the partner you're working with that you have, and that you can do things without very little words being said. And it goes in life, and it just goes in anything you do. When you don't have that, and when you're switching up so often, what type of rhythm, what type of cadence do you have with that person? How much is Jalen Hurts really supposed to learn about anybody's system if he can't learn it more than 2 years?
It's kind of unfair for him.
It's unfair?
Yeah.
But it's fair because they are paying you big money, but it's unfair because the Eagles have been successful. They've always been a team that's been innovative, teams always wanted their coaching, the style, from the Andy Reid days up to even Chip Kelly. His couple years, his offense was groundbreaking and new. That run and gun, teams had a hard time really catching up to it. When they did, they kind of settled it to this new tush push thing that we get. The Eagles have always been kind of innovative, and I just kind of look to the future and say, hey, listen, I love what's going on. I hope we get to the Super Bowl or expectation of the defense. Then we talked about it a little bit. You could see what happened last year. There's certain players that didn't need to be out there last year.
Around linebacker core was trash.
Trash.
They didn't want to bring the fire.
Friday trash too.
Me and my son, we watched all the games together.
Right.
And we would watch the Eagles linebacker core wait for the action to come to them. You know what I mean? And instead of bringing the action to them, or bringing the boom, they was waiting for it to come to them, and you can't be that as an NFL.
No, you can't do that. First of all, so we want to talk about my first grind in my gears. Matt Patricia should have never, ever been on this team. There's a reason why he's been fired over and over again. And I know Deshaun Desai was not exactly the hottest thing. But at least with that, going back to what we was talking about, it was continuity. At least the team knew what they were doing. They weren't kidding. He was given a bad hand. He had players that were hurt, a lot of players that weren't experienced. He lost CJGJ that year. Blankenship kind of hit the sophomore second year wall. You had injuries that really affected you. Your defensive line kind of like lost their steam middle of the season. And even with all that, Sean Desai still found the way to hold it together. But I think because of the Eagles and the way they were going, they really needed a fall guy. And the fall guy happened to be Sean Desai, which I thought was fair. But not only did you brought in Matt, but this is the same guy that won, 0-1 games with Detroit? This is the same guy who's lived off of Bill Belichick over in New England. It's amazing how you live off the coattail of somebody for 10 years in the league.
Yeah, New England didn't need a defensive coordinator. That was Bill Belichick. Definitely overhyped.
You know, he walks in and he can't. Sorry, I'm getting on my Matt Patricia grind. Okay, he walks in, he got that dumb look, like urgency look, with a pencil, a number 2 pencil in your left side of your head. Nobody use pencil, bro. Everything's it's computer. What do you got a pencil in your hand for? Stupid. And he killed our defense.
Yeah.
And he made our defense worse than it was. But the one thing I do like is our Georgia boys. I think they're really going to step up. As far as the whole team, what do you stand with this whole team?
I think this year coming up, I feel like this team, I like the disrespect that the team is getting.
Yeah.
Because kind of can fly under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that this team has the talent to win the whole thing.
Yo, the whole thing. So who is it that you have to respect or fear in the NFC? I ain't worried about the AFC, because when the AFC, that means you're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But who's the team that you're looking at? I mean, are the 49ers as a threat as we are? I mean, with the Brandon Ayuk being traded, I mean, I know he's not Christian McCaffrey. I know he's not Debo, but he's still a bit integral part of that offense. And he wants out. And a guy like that, did you know he averaged over the catch?
Brandon
Ayuk averaged, which means if you have a guy that averages to the catch, what does that do to George Kittle? What did that do for Christian McCaffrey out on a wheel route? What does that do for Deebo Samuel on a jet pass or a quick slant? I mean, he's driving his safeties 30 yards downfield, leaving a guy like Kittle he's not the superstar, but the San Francisco 49ers will fill this. Who do you see?
Yeah, I mean, I say it's about 4 teams outside of us.
Okay.
That I feel like could be legit.
So who you got?
I got 49ers.
49ers, legit.
Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions get to the NFC Championship, legit.
The Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love. I've said it last year on the podcast. Check me out.
This is your past, present, and future with Shiz. The sports horrible.
Underrated quarterback that I think people really don't give to is I think I like Jordan Love. Jordan Love's going to be I got to see more coming. No, he sliced this up in the Eagles game, bro. In the Green Bay, whenever Aaron Rodgers got hurt, he did. He sliced this up.
The Oracle is always right. So we got Jordan Love, who I think he's going to be a star. So who's your fourth?
The fourth was the Rams.
Yes. Matthew Stafford, I think, makes it.
Puka Nacua.
I call him. I call that man Pikachu. Pikachu is going to be killing them this year.
Yeah.
He's going to be. He came out of nowhere. Shout out to anybody who had an opportunity to pick him up on fantasy draft out of nowhere. That's talk of diamond in the rough. So yeah, your 4 teams are right on the line. My 4 teams, the teams that they've been there. Detroit for years have shown that they was almost on the step. Dan Campbell has got that team fighting. He's got that team playing pretty nice. I mean, you got to respect Sean McVay, his innovative offense, the way his mind is. Matthew Stafford, one of the best arms in the league. And you got to respect the 49ers. They've just been there. They did that. They've built a tough, and also the Eagles. You know one thing about all 4 teams you mentioned? Defense.
Mm-hmm.
Defense still wins championships. If you're gonna get to the NFC Championship, you're gonna get to the AFC Championship, you're gonna get to the Super Bowl, you're gonna need defense in some end. And that's one thing we did have that Super Bowl year in 22 is we had 75 sacks that year. You sack a quarterback 75 times. 75 times you get to a quarterback, you're gonna put yourself in a pretty good position to get to the chip. And with some fortune, you got to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the ball roll your right way, right? You got to have a little fortune.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get there.
And we had the turnovers as well.
We had the turnovers with the sacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, 75 sacks is kind of hard to really top, but there's other ways to get to the offense. You may not get 75, but hey, maybe we set the record for most interceptions or the most pressure quarterback.
Yeah,
hey, this is
Carter Johnson. He had a
6 or 7 a year he was here, and I think at one point he was leading the season. So that's just big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so much that's going on with the Eagles. I think absolutely the 49ers, the Rams are definitely 2 teams. If there's a dark horse in the NFC, it's a team where you be like, whoa, where'd that team come from? Kind of like the Lions. The Lions always was kind of sitting on the edge, but last year they were the team like, whoa, like yo, they really took a step forward and was 1 or 2 plays away from the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Is there a team this year that you're saying they're this year these Detroit Lions?
The Atlanta Falcons. For me.
That's a bold step, bro.
Yeah. I mean, they missing
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan. They finally got a quarterback with Cousins.
Kirk.
You know, I mean, Kirk Cousins. They got.
Hold on. Who's Kirk Cousins? Who's Kirk Cousins?
Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
You like that? That guy.
Yo, the greatest regular season quarterback. I said that on the podcast. Check me out.
That's funny. Minnesota. I mean, Kirk Cousins. Let's give it up to Kirk. He's the greatest regular season quarterback outside of this dude going to for the team win. We're going to go to that. We're going to that playoff time, baby. Listen.
The greatest regular season quarterback of all time. I have made reels and clips of this dude over and over. His stats in the regular season are unbelievable. He is a guy that he is a top 2 quarterback who I want on my team. Fantasy.
Yeah.
Games 1 through 17. But when the playoffs hit, when middle of January hit, I don't know.
Yeah.
He not Captain Kirk, more like a Seaman Kirk.
Only got to play daytime because prime time.
In the daytime, in the zone, in the dome at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, against the NFC, West team that don't come to the East. Against the second string quarterback. And when it's 72 degrees outside, he'll win the game.
Right.
Not for nothing.
Who would you say though will be a dark horse?
I like the way Seattle came in.
Oh yeah, forgot about Seattle.
Seattle was a team last year. I mean, Geno Smith is about the most regular looking quarterback who does. He has like little hints of like Kirk Cousins in him. Like, yo, why are you so corny good? It's like, yo, he does the job. He makes just enough plays. He's like a poor man Dak Prescott, bro. Mm-hmm. That's what Geno Smith is. But the team, Pete Carroll gets the team to play. They've always had notorious good defense, which got them to the playoffs. Remember, they were a team who a lot of people thought they was going to win that first round game. Yeah. I think they take a step out. Pat Carroll has always had a good record of getting his teams back into the mix after maybe a year or 2 down. So Seattle will be my team.
We'll see what happens with Seattle, though, because Carroll's gone now. Remember, they got the head coach now.
So I stand corrected. I need to catch up my football knowledge. Pat Carroll, and I'm like, this guy don't know football. Listen, I'm a little out of sorry, Seattle fans. But not for nothing, still the core of the team. I like the way the team was built. I like how the resiliency. They've always had a rich history in football, and I like the way they play football towards the end last year. Yeah. Even with they didn't have the most talent, and they made the best what they had. Right. So, being Eagles fan, being an NFC East, one of the things that we always focus on, that we keep our eyes on, are the cowgirls. And you see this year, Jerry Jones is not exactly having his best negotiating season this year, man.
You're not even thinking about these guys. That's you know. I left the Cowboys off the list of those top 4 teams only because they have yet proven to do nothing in the playoffs for the past 25 years.
Oh man, listen. They had the little Des Bryant little rant they got mad about with the catch and no catch, right? If Dak Prescott doesn't go and hustle up, if Dak Prescott go hustle up to the line like he has some urgency, maybe the San Fran game turns out a little different. Listen, Dallas then shot themselves in the foot more than enough times. I don't feel bad about no cowgirl fans, okay? I really, Jerry Jones, right now, hold on, we're gonna switch this up, man. We got a menu, but Jerry Jones has to be the most idiotic general manager in all 4 sports. I mean, this dude takes the liberty to do this to the worst time. CeeDee Lamb is your best wide receiver you had since Michael Irvin. We're talking, would you say 25 years since you had Des Bryant, you had Amari Cooper, you had a few, you try to make Gallup the dude. No, that ain't work, all right? No, CeeDee Lamb, it's the real deal, okay? And I'm saying this as an Eagles fan, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to play with this man money?
Nice.
All right? I understand Michael Parsons is due big time. I know Dak got his bread, and you got Martin on the line. You got some dudes, and you don't have forever money. But there's certain players you don't play with. And this is a history that the Dallas Cowboys had. Emmitt Smith. I mean, they played with all their quarterbacks and wide receivers. They've had negotiation issues for 25 years. And this is the best player. He's better than Dak. He's better than any of your offense. He is your franchise player. You do not play with this. It's his fault. He should have got the deal done with AJ and Devontae and Justin got all theirs. And he played hardball because he probably got tired of being stepped on, right? Yeah. Every time somebody comes in here to Dallas, they get what they want. Well, yeah, they do. And so this dude is. You gonna do this to Michael action? You know he's itching to come to Philly.
Yeah.
He's more itching to come to Philly. I dare you to play with his money next year. Because Howie the God Roseman, the negotiator, and I mean that on a human literal term, not a spiritual term.
Yeah,
but
don't go there.
Yeah, don't go there. Like he does very well with his job. He gonna find a way to get Michael Parsons in here. Go ahead and mess around if you want. We got Saquon in here, and the Giants is up there, and Hard Knocks trying to figure out what happened. I tell you what happened. You didn't pay the man money. You never gave him a line, never gave him a quarterback, and he came to the town where he knows best. Simple as that.
He's gonna have his best year this year too.
He's gonna have his best year. Yo, bro, he is the X factor. I'm excited about Devontae Smith. Oh boy, I'm excited about Saquon Barkley. Well, yo, I've been watching Saquon since his rookie year at Penn State, and he was the man there. And when he went to the New York, I was like, ooh, I did not like that. That New York, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be bad for the next few years. And it wasn't that bad because of injuries and because the way it is. He didn't torture us the way I thought he would.
No.
But we got a chance to do this. So any of the big signings, of course, we got right back on the Saquon thing. Big signing. CJ, big signing, right? 2 guys, impactful, right? What do you expect the Eagles to do with the running game this year? One of the things that you hear it was, well, you got Saquon. Why are they going to use him right?
Yeah, they're going to use him right. And I feel like it's going to be no different from DeAndre Swift. But he's just better. Better. He has a line. He's more of a every down back.
Yeah.
Than DeAndre Swift was.
Yeah, he is. I think you got better coaching too. I think Kellen Moore will utilize, as he's mentioned to the public, to his press conferences, and he's looking to utilize the run game more. I don't need Saquon Barkley getting the ball 20 times.
No.
But 15 to 18 touches a game. I do like Kenneth Gainwell for about 8 to 10 touches a game. And we could do that. And I think between that and whoever rotates in the third running back, I mean, right now, the running back is notoriously known as the short the short-term position. You know, you're good for 3-4 years if you could get that out of a running back. That's basically it. And if you're gonna try to get longevity on a guy that's already got miles and already have injuries, you know, there's no point, especially with this dynamic offense, to give the guy 25. There's no reason to give any running back the ball 25, whether it's running or touching a game, especially the money you pay him and many years you want out of him. You get it was a big thing with the Georgia boys, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Ringo, we're talking about Carter, right? What's the other big dude?
Jordan Davis.
Dort Davis, right? We got
It's the whole SEC.
Yeah, the
we got an SEC, Bama and Georgia football team right now.
Right. So, well, all those guys, they got to step up, right? Last year, I felt like they were missing.
I think they will, though. I think they will.
Jordan Davis went missing a lot last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
he still was playing behind those veteran guys like Cox and and you know, I think he's really going to be able to show what he really can do. And Carter, I think Carter ran out of gas a little bit.
Yeah. 17-game season different than the 12, baby. And then you got bye weeks in between your 12. You got a bye week in between, like week 4, and then you go 3 weeks before you play the championship game. Then it's 2 more weeks before you play any of the playoff games. So you got weeks in between, man.
And then you got those games that you might play on a Thursday night, then you don't play till a Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you play every Saturday in college football almost.
Every Saturday. Every Saturday.
Sometimes the games might be shorter in between those Monday night games, and then you play on Sunday. You know, so
and then you go, you're Georgia, right? You're playing whoever, and next thing you know, you're up, 35-3 at halftime, and it's time to take you out.
Right.
So you sitting on the sideline, shoulder paddless.
Right.
So you got a handful of those games a year.
Yeah. And some of these guys, they've been a man so long coming up, they're not used to any type of losing whatsoever.
Yeah.
So you go on they might lose one game in college this season, if that. You know, so you go to the NFL, if you lose 2 games in a row, you see him crying on the sidelines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
I mean, it's funny that you said that, because you think about some of these guys, they've been good since Pop Warner. They've lost a handful of games so they got to high school. They were All-American. They get to the state championship. They lose 1 or 2 games there, right? They go to Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan. These teams go, 12-1, 11-1, 12-0 all year, right? They lose 1 or 2 games. They lose 3 college games their whole career because they play 3 years. And they come to the NFL and they lose 5 games in a row. And they never lost 5 games in their 12 years of playing football. Yeah. And they lost 5 games in a row. Why? Did you play for the Cincinnati Bengals? You play for the Jets.
Right.
You play the Browns. They notoriously will lose 5 games in a row every year.
Right.
Yeah, so it's new to them. It's a culture shock. It kind of reminded me, not to get too off topic, when Carson Wentz came here. He's been a winner all his life. He played small ball football in North Dakota. He's Division 2, 3 all year. And you come to a big metropolitan city like Philadelphia, where the football knowledge and the way we treat football is intense. It's more than life. We know more about football than you do your own self. And the moment you sneeze wrong, the moment you pick your nose wrong, we're all over it. You throw the ball wrong, your mechanics is off. He stands too straight. He runs this way. Like we are on you 24/7, and he was not used to that. And he rode the high wave when he was here. And we gave him the keys to the Corvette early. He rode the wave. He got us all the way to a 12-win team, and it was nothing bad. Like he won state championship. He won the college ranks. And then when things got hard, he did not know how to handle adversity.
No.
And it came crashing. He got jealous. He didn't know why Nick Foles is doing this. Why does Doug Peterson do that? So with that, like that adjustment from college to NFL is serious, especially when you are used to winning and all of a sudden you have to deal with losing. You have to deal with booing. You have to deal with the critics, the PR. Yeah, we're going to be on you on the radio, on the podcast. Every time you wake up, somebody's yelling your name that you're a bum. Right? You're not used to this. Nobody's ever called me a bum before. Now this ain't Kansas no more, Dorothy. This ain't North Dakota. This ain't Fargo, baby.
And it's a shame, because I was a Wentz guy.
I was a Wentz guy.
I was a big Wentz guy.
Wentz guy. So, division. Eagles won the division or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's done with Dallas all the time.
All the time.
But the thing of it is what it comes down to Eagles and Dallas is make the dance. Make the dance. And we normally do better in the dance than Dallas does.
We usually do. Dallas has they'll still yet to prove. So, the question. The $1 million question. what will be the Eagles' record, and will they get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I believe that they'll be about 11-5, 12-5.
12-5.
How many games is there?
17.
17. Yeah.
So
about 12-5.
So the Eagles will be 12-5.
Yeah, they'll be 12-5, and they're going to the Super Bowl though.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm not really afraid of really anybody.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Eagles is a team that that'll beat themselves. If anything, think they made up where they needed to make up as far as talent, especially on the defensive end of things. And so I'm just looking forward to that.
Yeah, I got them. I said 11-6. I think because it's a tough season. They do have one of the toughest schedules. New offensive coordinator. It's going to take time. The Eagles notoriously start slow. They get better. I think it ekes out Dallas, who may end up with 9 or 10 wins. I don't think it's the best record in the NFC, but I think we could get to the NFC Championship. I think I have us in the NFC Championship against San Fran. I think there's still. I don't know. Probably in San Fran. This team has redemption that they have to get back this year. How last year ended, it cannot happen. You cannot start 10-1 and go 1-6 at the end, or 1-5 at the end. You can't do that. And you know what the thing is they did do it, and not for nothing, they deserved it. 10-1, bro. We didn't look like a 10-1 team.
No,
we was like 6-5.
Yeah, all year long though.
It was on. It was off. It was on, off.
We none of the games. Really, like I never was comfortable in, like, I'll say about 90% of the games.
The only game that got comfortable was the Miami game. It took the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It took the fourth quarter. We took the fourth quarter and we finally pulled off. That game was uncomfortable for about 3 games.
It was the first game of the season against the Patriots.
It was uncomfortable. Fourth quarter. It's like every game. There's usually a game where you can go back and be like, yo, we got this. Not this game, bro.
Yeah.
None of those games. Not 17 of those games. I've never felt so much intensity for 17 games. Not alone playing 17 games, but just to like have all 17 games feel like, yo, my heart's racing. I'm biting my fingernails. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh my God, I gotta take another drink. Why do I feel like I can't stop doing little bad? Like, yo, it was the worst with this team.
Yeah,
it was like, bro, win a game comfortably. I would like to be like the last 5 minutes, be like, oh, let's turn on red zone.
Yeah.
So it never happened. But this year, hopefully we'll have a couple games like that. I don't know if they win. I just have them there. I don't know. It's just too early in the season. The hot